Really appreciate the opportunity to be back here representing Vanderbilt, representing the SEC. It's completely different in year 2 compared to year 1 for me and our whole program. Last year I remember arriving here and walking through Radio Row, ending up in the mall, turning around, going back. Not one person said one thing to me, so it's a little bit different this year. But we still have a long ways to go as a program, but we're taking positive steps every day. I think there's a buzz about Vanderbilt football that maybe there never has been before, or at least in a very, very long time. And I know our kids and my coaches couldn't be more excited about what we're doing and where we're going. Really excited about the opportunity to be able to open on national television Thursday night, ESPN against South Carolina in our house. Being able to play a top 10 ranked opponent and a head coach with an unbelievable background like Steve Spurrier, who we have tremendous respect for, is going to be a great opportunity for us to continue to take steps in the right direction. So couldn't be happier to be here, and I'm excited to answer any questions you guys might have.
Coach, talk about the momentum into recruiting and everything else that you gained at the first.
Yeah, there is some momentum right now. The important thing is we got to build on it. One of the things that's interesting is, one of the things I've heard is it wasn't just the wins that we had last year, it's how we played week in and week out. And I think that earned a lot of people's respect. And we did that by just taking it one game at a time. I know coaches say that, but we live it. We really do. We even break it down even further to 6 seconds at a time. That's the average length of college football play. And I believe the more days that we win Monday through Friday in the off season, the Saturdays will start taking care of themselves.
What's been your biggest challenge from the time that you began this job?
I think the biggest challenge is perception. I think perception is a very, very powerful thing because it's that person's reality, and getting people to understand who and what we're going to be. I can't really speak about what's happened in the past, but I can tell you what we're doing from here on out. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why we haven't had the type of success. I think for the people in this room and a lot of people in this country, for the right kid from the right family, I think it can beat anything. I think if your son would have an opportunity to go to a school like Vanderbilt, get a world-class education, and play in the greatest football conference in America, and live in a great town like Nashville, and right now we can offer early playing time, I think we're a great option. If you're truly the best and the brightest, where else would you go? And that's what we've been selling. That's gone extremely well. But I think the overall perception has been the most important thing. We started doing that by worrying about the perception in our own locker room, how our kids saw themselves. And once we were able to get our kids on the right page, then we could grow, in our own community, and we could grow regionally, and then we could grow nationally. And we started to chip away at that. But we also understand we still have a long ways to go as a program in the most competitive football conference in America.
A lot of people talk about Marcus Lattimore and Natalie Davis. Talk about Zach.
Yeah, we think there's some great backs in this league. We understand there's great players, but we have tremendous respect and are happy with the running back that we have, Zach Stacy. Also Warren Norman, who we'll have this year, who's the SEC Rookie of the Year as a freshman. So having those two guys, but I think those two guys will tell you just like me, we play ultimate team football at Vanderbilt, and the focus is really on the offensive line, which I think if you take any position group in SEC, that group probably improved as much as anybody from the beginning of the season to the end, and allowed Zach to have a record-breaking year where he rushed for more yards than any tailback in Vanderbilt history. So I'm really proud of Zach. He's a good player. He's a better person, and I'm excited what he's going to be able to do this year.
You were a couple of plays away last year from really having a big year. What do you think your players learned from last year they're going to help you this year?
I think we had, now looking back at it, we probably had the right amount of success. We whet their appetite. They want more of it. We had just enough that our kids are really confident right now and want to build on that. What we have to do is we made a bunch of plays. If you look, we had the most explosive offense in the SEC last year in terms of the number of plays of 30 yards and 40 yards or more. We had more plays, big plays than anybody in the conference. What we have to do is we have to eliminate the plays that get you beat. We got to eliminate the turnovers, and we got to eliminate the penalties. And I think that's any team taking over a program. I think with confidence, a lot of those penalties will go away, the jumping off sides and things like that, the penalties that happen before the snap or after the snap. So that's really our focus.
Coach, the way you lost, what needs the Arkansas game ended up, what did it do for the mentality of your team moving forward into the offseason?
I can't really speak on that. I know the way we played each week, and looking back and watching those things, it was interesting. Jordan was in the office just watching film on his own the other day, and he walked in the hallway and came out and he said, watching this tape is frustrating because now I understand what I should have done, and I watch the tape, and it's amazing to me the mistakes that I made last year, and all of us, me as the head coach, the offensive line, all of us just looking back at last year and seeing some opportunities that we let slip through our fingers. But the most important thing in life is that you learn from those experiences. And that's what we're trying to do every single day, is just continue to grow and maximize every single day. And like I mentioned before, the more you do that, the Saturdays will start taking care of themselves.
Coach, you talked about changing self-perception, the uniform unveiling a week or so ago, all the different things you've done. How is that perception changing when you go into the living room?
Yeah, going into the living rooms, going into the high schools has been completely different. It really has. The high school coaches, I think, in this part of the country are unbelievably knowledgeable. Really, coaches across the country, but especially in this part of the country. The media, the coaches are so knowledgeable. There's such an emphasis on football in this part of the country. And I think they've respected what we've done and how we've done it. And the high school coaches have been unbelievable to me and my staff. And we want to continue to build on that because ultimately, that's what we're all about. It's not about the X's and O's. It's not about the fundamentals. That's a part of it, don't get me wrong. But it's about the relationships. That's the biggest difference between going 2-10 2 years in a row and going to a bowl game in our first year, is these kids knew how much we cared about them. They know we love them. They know we're going to have their back. And in turn, they did the same thing for us. That's why they went out and played so hard each week. That's why we had one of the highest GPAs that Vanderbilt's ever had in terms of football. So we're going to continue to do it on and off the field.
What area of the program do you feel like needs the most improvement?
I wouldn't say it's one specific thing. I think we're probably 60 years behind in a lot of areas. So facilities, so recruiting, perception, all those things. We have to continue training and educating our fan base and the community. It's every aspect. And right now, the fact, we got to remember, we've been here 18 months. We were able to have a top 25 recruiting class. We were able to go to a bowl game in our first year. We're getting a brand new jumbotron. We're getting brand new lights. We're getting brand new field turf. We got new meeting rooms, and we're about to break ground on a $31 million indoor. So I don't know if there's a program in the country that's been able to do the things we've been able to do in 18 months. Now, on the same hand, we got to keep going because we still have a long ways to go, and I understand that.
Got 18 starters coming back. A lot of those guys are seniors. Talk about the leadership you expect out of them, and especially, a lot of people talk about your recruiting class and how important they are to that recruiting class.
Yeah, the recruiting helps with the depth, it really does. The leadership thing is important. I think Chris Marv was one of the more natural leaders I've ever been around. Chris just got accepted to Vanderbilt Law School, could be more proud of him and what an unbelievable career he had at Vanderbilt. But we're going to have to replace that. And for us to think we're going to replace that with just one guy, Chase Garner, who stepped in that role, and think he's going to be able to not only play the way Chris played, but also be able to create the leadership vibe of the team that we're looking for. It's not going to happen. So we want to spread. We want to spread that leadership out. People have really embraced that. Our guys understand that. I don't really need to tell them that. They know that, but we do discuss it. And our guys understand. I think it's a little bit different replacing starters on defense than it is on offense, because if you're the nickel and you're the dime, you played a lot of football. If you're the second team defensive end or second team defensive tackle, you rotate the defensive line constantly. So replacing linebackers is a little bit different, and I think replacing guys on offense is a little bit different. But the secondary of the D-line, I'm excited about the depth that we have there.
Talk about all the improvements that are being made. You guys have had a successful season. Your name's going to start popping up all over the place. What keeps you a finger?
That's an interesting question. What's amazing is in the 17 months we've been here, when we first got here, people used to try to beat us up in recruiting and say, don't go to Vanderbilt, you're not going to win enough. 6 months later, we get, don't go to Vanderbilt, those coaches aren't going to be there very long. And now there's stuff all flying around that that we might be doing some things that we shouldn't be doing, which is amazing, because that's never going to happen at Vanderbilt. But I do think we have an unfair advantage. We have more things to sell than any school in the country. So I do think we have an unfair advantage over other people. An opportunity to get a world-class education, an opportunity to play in the greatest football conference in America. So if you're the best and the brightest, where else would you go? Live in a great town and early playing time. So we're selling that. We're also selling the same things to the kids that we believe, same Kool-Aid we're drinking. And that's, we want to build our own legacy. We don't want to follow in somebody else's. I think there's a difference in renting somebody else's legacy and building your own.
Coach, what does it mean to be successful with Vanderbilt football now as you change what Vanderbilt football really has become? Change the legacy.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Right now, given the change in what the perception is for Vanderbilt football, to you, what would you consider success in Vanderbilt football right now?
You know, it's interesting. I get that question all the time. We're not a goal-oriented organization. We're a process-oriented organization. So I don't focus on number of wins or how many points and those types of things. We just focus on getting better every single day. What I want to do is, at the end of the season, I want you guys in this room to say, you know what? Vanderbilt's got a good thing going. That program's heading in the right direction. They got really good leadership. And that's what I want our fan base, that's what I want our administration, that's what I want our community to say, that Vanderbilt's got the right leadership and they're headed in the right direction. That's all I'm worried about. When it comes to number of wins and all those types of things, we don't focus on that. We just focus on being the best we possibly can every single day, and the wins will take care of themselves.
Coach, do you feel like Matthews and Boyd could be the best duo in the league? Is that potential there for them?
I think the potential is there, but we got to go out and do it. They've worked extremely hard this summer. They ended on a real positive note last year. They're great kids. I think they got a chance to be really good players. And the fact that they got a veteran quarterback to get the ball, I think that's going to help as well. So I'm excited about it. But I think I also realize in this league is you're not going to, no one's going to give you respect. You got to go out and earn it. And although we did some nice things last year, we're not going to get the type of respect that we want until we go out and earn it on a consistent basis, game in and game out, day in and day out, year in and year out.
Coach, can you tell us about Anchor Down, what that rally cry means for your team?
Yeah, Anchor Down for us is, we're dropping the anchor and we're not backing up. We're drawing a line in the sand. And, for us, it's a powerful symbol. And our guys have really embraced it. We're trying to do a lot of things in terms of building pride and traditions and who and what we are. Taking a lot of pride in the Star V, taking a lot of pride in the black and gold. We got great colors, strong colors. So building some of these traditions and things. So when you go out around the community and you see somebody, or you're at the airport, you see somebody wearing a Vanderbilt shirt, that you can throw up and be you, and you can say Anchor Down to them, and that's something that brings us all together. But basically, we're dropping the anchor, we're not backing up, we're drawing the line in the sand, and we're ready to go. And I think what people realize is, when you play Vanderbilt, you better be ready for a fight, and that's our mentality. You come into our stadium, you come into yours, you're gonna have to be ready to play for 60 minutes.
One more question for any other questions?
Guys, thank you so much.